I'm becoming a tech genius. I told Todd, it's just like, oh my gosh, when you're the only one who can solve your own problems, you become friends with YouTube really quick. Okay, I think oh my gosh, we're live. We are live, Kelley. Holy,
wow.
Holy. Oh my
we were
God.
live before we were live. Remember that.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so proud of myself. I just will stop right now. Anyway, okay, so I am Heather Lyle, and I help business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders stay focused on their infinite potential while I reverse engineer their end result. So what do I mean by that? I'm kind of like Google Map. Just type in your end destination, and I give you all of those step-by-step directions as to how you need to get there and help you avoid those potholes along the way as well too. But today we're going to be talking about burnout and productivity. And oh my gosh, I am so excited to be having this conversation with Kelley McGuire. And so I'm going to pitch it to you real quick. Kelley, tell us all about you. Give us that 30,000 foot version.
Wow. There's a lot. There's actually quite a lot, but currently I help people hold themselves accountable to whatever those things that are in their lives that will make lasting, huge transformations for them. So whatever that is, it could be in their business, it could be their finances, it could be their health and wellness, it could be with their relationships. But it's whatever someone has zeroed in on that's going to make a big impact in their lives and for those around them. I make sure that they don't sabotage themselves.
Oh, that's awesome. So have you seen a lot of self-sabotage then with the clients that you've worked with? I'm curious.
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of times most of us think that we know what we need to be doing or don't need to be doing. And then once we say it out loud, all the reasons that we haven't done it or have been doing those things come to light. And it's hard to stop doing those things or start doing those things. It's habits.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is a perfect segue into our topic for today about burnout and productivity. And I'll just tee this up real quick. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote a blog post about burnout in general. And oh my gosh, it received a ton of views, which that was a first for me ever. But it made me think about, there's a lot of people that this topic really resonates with, especially right now. I think COVID has definitely amplified burnout way more so than it has before in the past. So when it comes to burnout, specifically, what are the things that we need to be doing when it comes to productivity? And, I tell my clients, Kelley, that I want them to focus on their highest and best use of their time. And what are their skill sets? What are they best at? And that's really where they need to be focusing. You can't be everything to everyone, as we all, I know that everybody's heard that cliche phrase for years, but it's so true. And I'm sure that with the clients that you work with, you're like, okay, we got to narrow this focus down a little bit. We can't have a million things out there that we need to be, doing all at the same time. We've got to focus to those, I call it my one big thing. What's your one big thing that we need to focus in on? And make it a plan, make it, at least make some action steps towards it. And if you need to pivot the plan, like everybody has had to do this past year, then be flexible enough to pivot, but at least stay focused on your one big thing. And so I'm curious to hear your perspective with the clients that you've worked with, and just, how do you, what are your thoughts? What are your top 2 to 3 tips on keeping people focused on productivity?
Okay. Well, I think, and just like you were saying, this year, a lot has been piled on everyone. I know you're having to, work on, you did some homeschooling with your kids. You had a big move. Now everybody's, working from home together. So you're mismashing all of the elements of your life that usually we've been able to compartmentalize or separate and break out and really focus on doing those things at least better, if not really well. So I think that, crossing all of these parts of our lives and putting them in one place has made it really, really stressful, but we still continue to try to do things the way we always did that. And so that's causing that burnout, I think, because, you can't be cooking dinner, being on a business call, paying attention to your spouse or your children, and homeschooling and helping them with homework. Oh, and by the way, you forgot to exercise today and clean your house. So I think, we all kind of went through this doing too much of one thing, we kind of had a freak out and we retreated, and, everybody was baking sourdough bread or, Marie Kondoing their closets and posting that on there and just thinking we were champions, because we were forced to stay home and just focus on some things.
Right.
But I think after a while, you can only watch too many episodes of The Tiger King on Netflix and you feel like a loser. So you have to get, figure out how you deal with stress. I think that's a big thing, is like what you were saying, focus. And to me, I think you start with focusing on yourself and you, and what are you trying to accomplish? What are you doing a good job at? What are you doing not so great a job at? What are you doing too much of? What are you not doing enough of?
Yeah.
And then you just, all of a sudden you feel like I'm trying to do all these things or none of these things. And, you kind of have a freak out.
Yeah.
So again, finding out what is important, what's not important, what's, really important, because you can't do everything well.
Right. I think so. Yeah, I totally agree. I think so much of this is also, I talk about self-awareness a lot too.
Right.
Really being mindful. Yesterday, I was talking with a dear friend, Brittany Dingler, about burnout and health. And, she, with her clients, talk about nutrition and exercise and all of the things, but she's let's focus on one thing. We can only do one thing at a time, do it really well, and then maybe add something on later or whatever. But you've got to be mindful about what it is that you need at that one specific moment in time, and focus on that. And I feel like, again, just being all home all of the time, with kids and everything else happening, it's so easy to just feel distracted.
Right.
But listening to yourself, listening to your body, and going, okay, what do I like? What do I not like? What is my best use of who I am? And just zoning in on that is critical.
And I think one thing that I do with my clients, and I've done with myself, that's very helpful, is to treat your life like a big project.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of you, if you don't have a whiteboard in your home, put up some paper, just even make a list, that write down all of the things that are going on in your life as different projects, whether it is your health or your wealth or your family or your business or your home or, self-care, those things. Put those all down in those areas in your life that need your attention. And then just take a really hard look at it, just like you're, tackling a project. And then, what's not as important, let's prioritize those. Because you may have some things on your list that are really, really important, but they're not getting your time and energy. And if you can switch that to go, realize, well, I need to really focus more on my friendships or my mental well-being, put that up to the top of the list and really address that. And then make a backup plan for when, something happens, you can't get to it. So there's a whole lot of things around beyond that, besides just focusing on the reality of where you are.
Yeah, I'm all about making a plan, but I'm all about adjusting when you need to adjust. And again, this year has been the biggest year of adjustment and just knowing when enough is enough. I think I told you this story, but I'll share it with everyone here. But this past spring, when we were doing homeschool and I was working and tons of crap going on all at the same time, my littlest guy, who was in second grade, thank God for second and third grade teachers, and I'm glad that my kids are actually at face-to-face school, but my littlest was having problems with whatever topic it was at school. And he just was having a hard time focusing, and I'm sure he has ADHD in the first place. And so he and I were not gelling at that moment in time, right? Because I wanted him to do X and he was wanting to do Y, and it was just terrible. And it was 9:30 in the morning. And I just was like, I threw my hands up. I was like, okay, we're done today. We're done today, because you can't keep focused. I can't keep you directed. And so again, highest and best use of my time is not right here, right now. And so quit pushing against something that is immovable and adjust, pivot, make that change. It's not going to kill anything, and sometimes I feel like we as humans, just keep pushing up against that wall, and it's like, sister, the wall ain't moving, but you can,
Right. And you do have a lot more control over things than you think. And then one of the things, just like you were saying, just you stopped and you thought about it. I think that thinking part is the most foundational part of this whole thing in our life, is that we have control over our thoughts. We don't have control over necessarily how people treat us, our jobs, school, the state of the world right now, but we do have control over our thoughts, and our thoughts are what guide our actions.
Preach.
So that's a huge thing to digest, is that, you do have control over your thoughts. And if you want to have a different action, you got to start with your thoughts and how you think about things and how you react to things. And that's why that pause and that plan and that backup plan, like you were saying, and I call them, the speed bumps that come along, or the roadblocks. What are you going to do? What's your route that you're going to take when those speed bumps and those roadblocks come up?
Yeah.
Are you just going to throw your hands in the air and quit? No. But if you have a plan and you've thought it out ahead of time, your reaction isn't going to be as stressful, and you aren't going to feel that same level of burnout because it was going to happen. I know my kids are going to have a rough day sometimes. I know I'm going to get too busy and not make dinner or make plans or get to the store. But what's your backup plan?
Yeah. And give yourself some grace too.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yes. Very much so.
Yesterday I was having a horrible technology day. I mean, just nothing was working for me. And I was like, all right, okay, I'm not going to be able to get, A, B, and C done that I really, really wanted to get done because I'm a solopreneur and I had to figure out my tech issues, and so it's just, and it's so funny. I think that maybe it's just with age and wisdom, I don't know, that you just, you learn to be okay with that. I think it's a learned behavior, because I can tell you that 10, 15 years ago, when I was in my early 30s, I was just, I had to people please everything, right? And oh my gosh, nowadays I'm kind of like, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to give it all I've got. But at the end of the day, if my technology isn't working, well, that's got to be my focus. And this other stuff will have to come next,
Right.
So,
and it's because you had that experience of it not working and you lived through it. And
I lived through it. Yeah.
Hopefully no one died. So yeah, I mean, and that's again, walking through what's the worst thing that could happen, but having that plan around it. And then again, not being so mad at yourself because you didn't get everything on your list done.
Yeah.
Make a smaller list.
Right.
Make a small list and then get it all done, and then make another list. Then you're going to feel like, oh, I got it all done. Yay.
Yeah. All did.
Yeah, but there's a lot of psychological tricks that we can do to help ourselves. Yeah. And this is what it is. It's helping yourself, because no one else is going to help you in this area.
It is all in your head. It really, like, so much of this stuff is all in your head. Being real about your expectations, being real about what you can actually do, and, being mature enough to give yourself some grace when you can't do it. So.
Right. And ultimately, why are you doing all of this anyway? Who are you doing this for? And those are really important things to focus on too. Make yourself a note about why you're doing this. Put a picture of that thing you're doing this for. Are you trying to achieve a goal? Or are you trying to, make your life better for people around you, or even just yourself? But, why are you doing this? Why are you busy? And if those things aren't serving you toward that goal, then maybe they need to be off your list. I used to be on several boards because I love volunteering and I love helping, but I really had to take a step back because I felt like I was trading one thing for another. Yeah. And I had to just go, you know what, this other thing's more important for me right now, not forever maybe, but I had to just be able to say, I'm sorry, I can't help with that right now.
Yeah. Productivity, I was reading an article, maybe it was the other day, I can't remember, but just learning to say no. And I feel like I'm becoming a master of that art. Learning to say no is really pivotal, again, in just being mindful about what you can do, how you can do it, and will you be able to give it 100%? If you can't, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it,
Right. And give other people permission to say no too. That's a big deal that, I've learned to do. Because I know that there are people who haven't gotten that skill set down. And so giving them permission, so it's a good experience for you with whatever you're trying to get done, whether it's like, will you babysit my kids? Do you want to go to dinner? Whatever. And say, I understand it's a busy time, or I understand whatever.
Totally.
That's just, because not everybody is Heather Lyle.
everybody is Kelley McGuire. I think that's why I like hanging out with you so much.
Well, I like hanging out with you too. We both like great food and we love to laugh. And you inspire me big time. You inspire me a lot. I get a lot of great stuff out of our chats.
I do too. It's all so good. So let me just kind of recap as far as just top hacks, tips, tricks, whatever, when it comes to productivity. For me, highest and best use of your time. For you, it is give grace. Focus in on the one thing. What else did I miss?
Well, I think that's the evaluation of
Yes.
what you're trying to accomplish, and just being real about it.
Yeah.
And making a laundry list and seeing, like, all these things are why I'm feeling this way. Maybe I need to, offload some of this, take it off the list, get some help on completing that list.
Yeah.
Or just being okay with it not getting done.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anybody needs help on getting real or getting things done, they can call either you or me, and we
That's
can
right.
help with that.
Right. I am the thorn in my client's sides.
But you're such a good thorn too.
Yeah, but I think it's that, you have to be ready to do it. And if you're not ready to do it, you're not going to do it, no matter who you hire to help you, no matter what app you use, whatever. If you're not really willing to do those things, then it's not going to happen. Period.
It's all about right here.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Kelley. I appreciate this time to chat real quick and see your face too. And I hope everybody who is listening or will watch this on a replay later will at least glean a couple of good insights from it. And if you like it, give us a thumbs up or a heart or a comment below. Share this with someone that you think might derive some benefit from it. And tomorrow, I'm going to be talking with Shelley Leverage, a business owner as well too, about burnout and pivoting business and what's that like as well. So 10 a.m. tomorrow, and hopefully I won't have any issues with my Facebook Live and Zoom integrations here. But anyway, thank you so much, Kelley. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And until next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.